Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today I've got something different for you. I received some fabric grow bags from BN Link. Now, this is not the first item I've used from BN Link, so I'm really happy with their products in the past, but this one is a 3-pack of bags that are meant for growing outside. These are 10-gallon, and I'm going to try them out here for a worm bin and also maybe try growing in them. We'll see if I maybe get the deer to eat my food, because or my plants. That's normally what happens. But I'm going to try these out. I'm going to have a link down below for you to check them out as well on Amazon. But with that, I do want to say the other product that I tried that worked really well was this temperature controller that I used for my worm bins during the winter. This worked really well. Unfortunately, the system didn't work as well because the mats would just heat up way too much and heat up too quickly and dry out the system. But this worked really well actually when I was trying this out. So with that, let's open up this package from BN Link with these bags, see how big they are, and see what we can do with them. All right, so here we go. Here are the grow bags. It comes in this nice plastic container. As I said, these are 10-gallon, heavy-duty, 300-gram. I can't read that from upside down. Non-woven fabric, durable reinforced handles, double stitched for extra strength, superior aeration and drainage, and foldable and washable. Now, this is something that I kind of like about these, is that these have a lot of aeration, which I think it can be an issue with some of the bag systems, especially during the summer. So with that, let's go ahead and open this up. And as I said, I'm going to have a link down below. Check it out. Also, maybe put it as the first comment here. So with that, we just got a couple straps here. I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. There we go. All right, and this has, I thought this was a 3-pack, but there's a lot more in here. How many were in here? 5-pack. Oh my gosh, I misread that. I was thinking 3-pack, but there's 5 in here. So look at that. This is actually a much better value than I thought. And these are 10-gallon bags. So let's grab one of these here. Hold on a second. I'm just going to move these off to the side. I don't need to look at all of them. So let's check out one of these. So first off, they are folded. You can see this. Let's just put this down so you can see right here. Folded, they got this nice stitching right here. And you can see the stitching on the outside and then on the inside as well. So that's how it holds together really well. You got some nice handles. And look how big these are. 10 gallons, nice and large. They actually nice flat bottom on these. I didn't expect that. For some reason I thought it would be bowed out, but it's a nice flat bottom, so this will sit perfectly. And I think the first thing we're going to try to do, though, is we're going to try to make a worm bin. I think this would be actually a really good worm bin for some African night crawlers. So with that, first thing I need to do is I need to find something that I can put this in. So give me just a minute. I'll be right back. And we are back. And as you can see, I've got this sitting in one of my big mortar bins, which fits almost perfectly in here. It really does. I mean, it really fits pretty well. It's within probably 1/8 of an inch, maybe too big, but that's fine. But what we're going to do first is we're going to load this up with some paper. So I've got a massive thing of paper right beside me. And I'm just going to take some handfuls in here. Give me a second here. I'm going to move a little bit slow so I don't put paper all over the bottom. There we go. Nice big handful of paper. And some more. There we go. Now what's nice about this is really I can soak this, have it run out, and then I can drain out this tray. So I kind of really have a different system here compared to what I'm used to, where I get too much water in and it becomes a massive issue. So with that, we're going to just kind of spread this out along there. Now, if I wanted to grow stuff in here also, you could do the same thing. You could add a little bit of paper to the bottom as a kind of a barrier. You could also add a little bit of rock if you wanted to make sure that it sort of can drain a little bit easier. But remember, that's going to add weight. So one of the things about this is these handles make it really easy to pick this up and move this around. And if you're growing stuff, you might not want that extra weight of having rock in there. So you're going to want a lot of light material. Now, with that, let me see here. I am going to add, and I've been showing this off a lot lately, but some charcoal. I'm just going to add a little bit of this in here. This is not crushed up very fine. That's okay though. It's going to add some aeration to the system. And it'll soak up some minerals and some water, hopefully. And that way the worms can do a little bit better. Now with that, we do need water in here. Now, so let me grab a cup. Let me add some water. I have to say, I haven't done a new bin in a long time, and I'm sort of excited about this. If I can find the cup that I have. All right. So we need to get this wet. Now the water I have is actually from a fish tank. So this is nicely Nice water that's really going to be filled with nutrients. And then we're going to just dump an entire worm bin in here that I had from African night crawlers. All right, a little bit more. You can see right there, the charcoal almost still looks dry, even though I dumped water right on it. Just soaks it right up. I'm not seeing anything run out at the bottom, but this is what's going to be really nice about this, is that I can see if stuff runs out the bottom, I can just pick it up and move it. I can just pick it up and be like, let's just see. Look at that, it's dry still. So that means this needs a lot more water probably, so let's add more. Now, as I said, this is really, really good. We're getting into the spring and summer months here. This is going to be perfect for keeping a bin that will be able to slough off that extra water and that you get during the summer. During the winter, this might be a little bit rough to have a system that's in a bag like this in my area where it gets cold and dry. All right, it's starting to drip out the bottom a little bit now. This is perfect. So we're going to go ahead and leave that like this. And now I'm going to grab a worm bin here that has African night crawlers in it. So this system's been going for, and I've just bumped that a little bit there. This system has been going for a long time. It's probably a little dried out. And we're going to rotate here. We're going to just, oops, sorry about that. Just rotate. This bin right here is really, really wet. It's been going a long time. I didn't want to do anything with it because I really wanted to keep the worms in here going. And you can see it's got some big, let's just see if we can find some here. Look at these African night crawlers here. So look at this. This is the way these worms look. They're massive worms. Oh, let me see if we can get, there we go. Massive worms in there. So we're going to add these to this system. You know what? We should probably add a little bit of food. So we're going to add a little bit of stuff from my Vitamix as a food source. Of course, now I just doused that worm with really dry material there, which probably isn't good. But we'll fix that later. So right now I'm going to take a bunch of handfuls of this. As you can tell, this material is really, really wet and moist. This is really, really dry in here. But that's okay. Again, massive worms. You can just see how big these worms are. And there's a couple babies in here, it looks like. But we really want to try to mix this up a little bit. Get these worms in here. And this is sort of my breeder collection here. This is what I use to sort of move worms around in my basement, as far as like I really want to keep a lot of the worms going. And I'll leave this system going. And that way I have African night crawlers I can maintain in case one of my other systems dies. This one just seems to just continue to keep going really, really well. No matter what I do with it, which is great. And that's, I think, partially because of how moist it is, but also I just consistently add just a little bit of food. Just see if we can find any more. Mix this up just a little bit for them. I don't need to get all of them out of here, but I just want to get a whole bunch and get them in this system right here. This looks really good, I have to say. I'm really impressed with these bags. I like the size too, the 10-gallon size. These are 10-gallon totes. This makes it a little bit taller, so not quite as spread out, but again, it's going to be able to dry out. The reason why you want to go long for totes instead of tall is because they're plastic, and this plastic holds in all the moisture, and that's why this bin looks like this. You can see it's just really, really moist. It's too moist. This is going to dry it out a little bit. It's going to allow the worms to move around, and this should be good for the system. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab some more water, I think, and put it in here and just dump this in. That's going to get this material to move around a little bit in here. Oop, actually, hold on. I just realized I dumped some of it by the side here. Let's just throw all that stuff in there. Not that it matters. This is going to get all over the place, which is fine. And I can see more and more water leaking out here, just so you can see here. I'm going to just pick this up. You can hear that. It's coming out now at the bottom. That's perfectly fine. This is so I'm excited about this. So with this bag being fabric and allowing the water to get out, I can drain this water away if there's too much water in here, or I can actually put it over something else and pour it right back in the top, because a lot of times the top will dry out, but not the bottom. And this will allow that bottom section to sort of dry out, and that way you can sort of remove water, or you can remix it into the system. So I'm really excited about this. I've been really wanting to try one of these for a long time, and I really want to thank BN Link for sending me one of these, because you know, as I said, I never really got around to pulling the trigger on it. I mean, it's something that I wanted to do. Hopefully that'll readjust now the camera so you can see in there. But you can see, looks pretty good in there. Again, you can hear the water flowing out of there. There's a lot of extra liquid in there right now. That's okay. And if I had it, I could actually, let me see if I don't have a second thing here that I could do this with. I could pull this off, and then I could actually dump it on the top here. But you can see, I can just pick this up, drain this out, and then I can take this liquid and I can pour it off. And there's a lot of extra liquid in there. That's perfectly fine right now. I'm going to have that soak into the bedding and soak into the material in here. I did put a lot of liquid in here. The bag material itself is going to also probably wick this liquid up into the other parts of it. Now there is one piece that I do need that I don't have here, and give me a second, I'm going to go get that. All right, so what am I missing here? I'm missing a lid. So I've got a piece of tarp here, and I'm just going to sort of cut this to be a little bit smaller than this by itself. Because I don't need to block off the entire thing, but I do need to block off and try to keep some of that moisture in, because otherwise it's just going to respirate out through the top. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this down to size, or at least close. I just realized you can't see what I'm doing here, but I'm just using one of my knives here to cut this up a little bit. It's just a little bit smaller. By the way, you shouldn't normally cut with knives towards you. I'm doing it because it's really hard to do this on camera without blocking everything. But there we go. That looks about right, or at least a little better. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a matter of just kind of having something in here that's just going to kind of hold that moisture on the surface. Otherwise, the surface is just going to dry out. Now, what's great is I can leave this here. It can soak up this water into the system itself. The worms can move down in and out of the water. I don't know if they'll be able to climb up the sides. They probably can with this fibrous material. But at the same time, that's perfectly okay if they don't. They can stay in the system here. And the thing is, we can build this up. Now, what's also I'm really excited about with the system is the fact that, unlike my other bins that I have, this should be easier to empty out. I should be able to easily dump this out into here and then refill it. It'll still be wet and still have a lot of the microbial activity, which is going to soak into these fibers. So you're going to get those microbes and everything going in here. And it should be able to get going a little bit faster than a Rubbermaid tote, which, once you clean it out, it's just devoid of anything except for what you didn't scrape out of it. So I'm kind of excited about this. We're going to try to do weekly updates on this system and see how it's going. Now, the other question is, I've got a couple more of these here. As I said, it was a 5-pack. I thought it said 3, but it's a 5-pack. So I've got a bunch more of these here, and I think I'm going to try a couple other things as we go forward. But right now we're going to try a worm bin. I've always wanted to try potatoes, actually. That's one of the things I've really wanted to try. I've heard that these are great for that, growing some potatoes. So maybe I'll see if I have some potatoes that are starting to get some little eyes, or that we can maybe plant in here and try that as well. And then maybe I'll do a giveaway since I've got a couple extras. I thought I had 3. I've got 5, so I've got a couple extras maybe I can give away. So I'll have to see how I can set something up to do that as well. So with that, I just want to thank again BM Link for sending this out. Again, let me show the packaging here. I will have a link down below. It'll take a second to come into focus. But again, fabric grow bags, 10-gallon. BM Link, I know that they're a pretty good company from the other stuff I've tried from them. And yeah, these look good so far. So I'm really glad that they sent these to me. And again, they gave these to me for free. So this is technically, I guess, a paid promotion, but at the same time, it's something that I really wanted. I've only been saying yes to things I've actually wanted to try, and this is one of them. So with that, we're going to sign off for today, but I will try to do updates on this more frequently as we need to add food to this, probably some frozen food, more bedding material, but I want to give a chance for the worms to acclimate and for this water to sort of soak into the system before I keep going. So with that, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below.